Good morning. How are you? Morning, afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. How are you doing? My name is Twana B. Smith. Welcome to the show. Some of you know me. Thanks for joining in. Some of you who don't, welcome. Thanks for watching. Let me put that up there really quickly. Welcome to the process. On this show, I talk to you about the process of business, process of your life, just the process of being bigger and being better. And I come here on Facebook Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Try to come 3 days a week to talk to you. And today is actually going to be difficult for maybe some of you to hear or listen to, but it's real. It's real. So I do want to make sure that you hold tight and you stick with me on this because it's something that can possibly help you when you are thinking about your life and what you want for your life moving forward. So, today I'm talking about, what death teaches us about ourselves. And the reason why I'm talking about this, and good morning, I can't really see your comments if you are commenting right now. But the reason why I'm talking about this is, my mother-in-law's partner passed away this weekend, passed away early Saturday morning. He died from complications from cancer. And this is probably the third person this year that, I know personally who has passed from cancer. And it's really tough for us. It's always tough for us because of, our very close brush with it, with our youngest son, Assad. And, anytime someone that I know passes, I sit down and I write, I journal, because it puts me in a very contemplative place. And before I go forward, if you could do me a favor, you could share this out with someone or invite people that you know, just so that hopefully this message can help them and resonate them. I know it might sound a little bit morbid, but it is meant to be motivational today. So, anyway, I will sit down and I will journal. And so that's what I did Saturday. I sat down with my journal. I have plenty of journals, but this particular journal right here is where I kind of put some of my inner thoughts. And, I thought about several different things and specifically about, my life. What am I taking for granted? What am I doing? And, death always makes me stop and think. Does it make you stop and think? Does it, how long does it make you stop and think? How long do you say to yourself, all right, I'm going to do this thing that I've been putting off, or I'm going to do better? And, I want to talk to you about these things that death teaches us. And the first thing that death teaches us is that, we take our time for granted. We think that tomorrow is promised to us, and tomorrow is not promised to us. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us. All we have is today. And so today, thinking about maybe your 24 hours, or maybe, next week, if you see next week, those 24 hours. But the time that you have right now is all the time that you have. You cannot project that you're going to be here a month from now. None of us can, right? We don't have silver balls, but we need to make sure that we're not taking our time for granted. What are you going to do in these 24 hours to do the thing that you say that you want to do, right? And so that's the question I ask myself, all right, because I am spiritual, I ask God, all right, what am I supposed to do? Am I really on the right path? Am I doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing? Am I using my time purposefully? And a lot of times we, especially as business people or entrepreneurs, we don't have urgency. And I know I'm so guilty of that, not having urgency to say that this thing needs to happen now. This thing needs to happen in 24 hours. What am I going to do to make sure that I am staying true to that urgency, to know that I can't be putting this off, right? What are you putting off? What are you saying? All right, I'm going to start that next week, or I'm going to start that, the next day. I have a friend of mine, she's helping me keep me accountable with my fitness and, just getting back on track with that. And we had a conversation on Friday. It's all me. It's all text. If you like to text, I'm your girl. I'd rather text than be on the phone most of the time. So she said, hey, you know what? Let's do this. I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to text you. When do you want to start? And this was Friday. I was like, let's start tomorrow. Let's start Saturday. I said, because I can't, she's like, wow. I'm like, well, I never subscribe to the people who say, oh, I'm going to start on Monday. What's so special about Monday? What's so special about Monday that's different from Saturday? Saturday, you actually have more time. You have more time to plan. You have more time to work out. You have more time to eat properly because you're not rushing, and you can be a little bit more, introspective and thoughtful about what you're doing. Why put that off? And then again, I am assuming that I'm going to be here on Monday. Thank God I am here. But I told her, no, let's start tomorrow. Are you thinking to yourself, right, okay, I'm going to start learning how to do X, Y, Z, ABC next month or in the fall when my kids are in school? If you have that luxury because you have a crystal ball to know that you're going to be here and you have that opportunity, please share it with me, because I know I don't have that, right? And that's one of the things too, why I even started my other brand, Mom's Guide to Travel, was really because I never subscribed to, oh, I'm going to wait till my children are in college or out of the house before I travel. Turns out that we have one child that probably will never get out of the house. We will probably always be taking care of him. So guess what? I needed to figure out pretty early and finagle, how do I do this with those circumstances? And so you might have to ask yourself, how do you do the thing that you want to do and achieve the thing that you want to achieve under the particular circumstances that you have, right? It's not always about, life is never going to be perfect. Timing is never going to be perfect. Everything is just not going to be in place like dominoes. It never is for me personally. It's always like, I've got to grind. I've got to go at it. I've got to do it in that moment at that time. So forget about putting the thing off that it is that you want to do, right? Because you don't know that you're going to have tomorrow, and don't take that time for granted, right? You have to have urgency. Okay. The other thing that Deb teaches us about ourselves is that we overcomplicate things. If you are an overcomplicator, please raise your hand. I'm going to raise 2 hands because I know I overcomplicate things. Sometimes you have a very technical brain when you're like really into like processes and techie stuff. That can be a curse because you do overcomplicate things. I know with me, with my processes, with, getting more people to know me and to hear my message, I overcomplicate all the tech part of it just because I love the tech part of it. But it really doesn't have to be that difficult. How about you just get on a video? You let people know who you are, what you do, what you know how to do, how you can help them, and you plop it out there. You ask people to invite, share it out. You send it through a newsletter. You put some money behind it and send an ad, whatever. Just because someone does something one way doesn't mean that you need to do something that same way if it's complicated for you. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple. What is it that you're trying to achieve, right? First question you need to ask is, what is your mission? Because that is what death makes you sit there and think, what am I here for? What is my mission? And once you answer that question on what your mission is, what are the things that I need to do? It doesn't need to be 100 things. Maybe it's just 3 things. Maybe you just start off with the 3 things that I need to do to accomplish that mission, right? Or who are the people that I need in my life to help me achieve that mission? But if you don't have a mission, you haven't written a mission statement for yourself, then it's kind of hard. You're kind of like flailing in the wind and your life doesn't seem purposeful. Make it purposeful. You were not put here for no reason. There was a reason why you were put here. Go after that reason. You don't know what your mission is? What are you good at? What brings you joy? What do you like sharing with people? What do you like doing for people? Figure out how you can make that a mission. I know I made my husband do this a couple years ago. And I sat down and I said, honey, write what your mission is, because that's what I'm working on. And I wrote, and I'm going to share it with you guys. I said, my life's purpose is to inspire, motivate, and entertain people through public speaking and performing, right? If I think about all the things that I've done in my life, the things that have brought me the most joy, it is being on stage. It's being in front of the camera. It's talking to people or entertaining people, mainly entertaining them through, theater and performance. But really, if I can just talk to people and I can educate them, or I can entertain them, or I can give them my experiences, share my experiences with them, that would hopefully, change the trajectory of their journey or make them feel better about themselves, then that brings me joy. So that is my mission. But I had to sit down and think about, all the things in my life, or the one thing in my life that really kind of brings me joy, and how I can make that into a mission to serve other people. That's why I do it. That's why I do it. And hopefully you're watching this, or, you share this out with someone and it resonates with them. And I have achieved that to make them think a little bit deeper about themselves and to inspire them to take action. But know what your mission is, right? And don't make it complicated. Who do you need, or what do you need in your life to accomplish that mission? Do you need to take a course? Do you need to read a book? Do you need to listen to a podcast? Do you need to write that first page of that book? Do you need to hire someone to work with you as your consultant or as your coach? Do you need someone to take over the reins of you of your speaker career that you're burgeoning to happen? Do you need to take a speaking class? Do you need to, join some sort of group or network? What are the things that you need to make that mission, that thing that you want to do, happen? That's it. And don't wait until next month to do it. Figure out where it is, do the research, and then start going after it the next day, because your time is not promised to you. Okay. The last thing, because I know I've been talking for a while, is, we don't recognize and appreciate our blessings that are around us and what we have working for us right now. I know that I have to be reminded sometimes too, like, you know what, when things are tough and you're like, oh, I've got all these bills, I've got this thing complicated, I've got that thing complicated. Hey, guess what? Be happy that, excuse me, you live in a house, that you have a car, that you can pay for the bills. Even if you don't maybe have some of those material things, be grateful that you have your life. Be grateful that you live in a country where you can sit and watch video without somebody bombing your front door. That you even have technology. Sometimes I look in the house and I'll say, look at all these doggone dishes. Oh, but you know what? Guess what? Let me be grateful because I've got a dishwasher. No, some people don't have dishwashers in their house. So I always try and take a step back and say, all right, like, what should I be grateful for in this moment? Instead of criticizing it and saying like, oh, I wish this thing was necessarily better. Two things. First of all, be grateful. Second of all, how can you change it? Right? How can you change it? How can you manifest it to be better or be the thing that you want it to be? Right. So, I think of, I have a little girl that I adopted from Compassion International, and she lives in Ethiopia. And so she's 7 years old. She has the same exact birthday as my oldest son. He actually picked her picture out at our church because she had the same exact birthday except for the year. And, they sent me a letter from her, and they sent me like a picture of her house. And man, I just shook my head and I was like, you know what, Tawana, really, really. And sometimes we need to look at what other people in this world are going through to put ourselves in check, right? To make sure that we're not overcomplicating things, to make sure that we are, having a little bit more urgency, to make sure that we are fulfilling our mission or creating a bigger mission to maybe help other people. I'm telling you, look at other people's circumstances, right. Of course I was sad when he passed away, but then I also thought about the people that are still suffering with this disease or some other disease. Hey, he doesn't have to suffer anymore. I know it's hard and you're going through, you might be going through your emotions at that time. And even my girlfriend passed earlier this year. I was like, I've seen her be healthy all the way being down to just like depleted. I'm like, gosh, she doesn't have to suffer anymore. Put it in perspective, right? So, getting back to recognizing yourself and what's working for you now, sometimes you need to have somebody outside of you professionally evaluate you and say to you, you know what? Why are you worrying about these things over here when you've got this over here working for you? Hone in on that. Make that better. Work on that. And stop trying to complicate it. And that's what I do, because I know I need other people for me. How you do it without having someone, excuse me, objective and outside of your, life as far as your friends and family go, to professionally evaluate you and say to you, do it this way, or this is how you should go about it. I don't know how you take it to the next level personally. Some of the most successful people in the world, that is what they do. They have mentors, they have coaches, they have consultants. If you're okay where you're at, then that's fine. But if you want to be bigger, you want to be better, if you want to achieve your mission with urgency, then you need to make sure that you hire someone or you're working with someone who can help you do that. It's plain and simple. I'm trying to be so straight up and simplified with this with you all, because I think that we get wrapped up in our stuff sometimes, and it takes life events for us to say, all right, you know what, calm down, settle down a little bit. And so anyway, hopefully that message serves you. So I'm going to wrap it up. I want you to think about these questions. I want you to ask yourself these questions. 1, what is your mission? 2, what or who do you need in your life to help you accomplish that mission? 3, what are you grateful for right now? 4, what are you waiting for? And 5, what's the worst thing that can happen if you started today? All right. So this is some real talk. It's Monday motivation. It is meant to encourage you and move you and inspire you, not at all to demotivate you or make you feel bad about anything. Leave a question, leave your comments below. I'm not necessarily going to, I'll come back to them right now. I just want to make sure that I stayed on point and kind of like had this conversation with you because it was on my heart, and it was something that I did some self-reflecting on, and I know that other people need to do that self-reflecting as well. Okay, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Again, share this out if you're watching the replay, and leave a comment. And if you are not following me, please do. Make sure that you follow this channel so that I can continue to motivate you, move you in action. And if you need someone to work with you to help you get your message out there and get you on point with your mission, then please just leave a simple comment, or you can private message me. I'm not going to overcomplicate that. Yes, eventually I will open up an opportunity to do some group coaching in a course, but you need something today. Don't wait on me to put that together. Leave a comment below. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, you might have got a little bit of the New Yorker a little bit today, but when I get into the real talk, some of that happens sometimes. So anyway, I will see you all later. Enjoy your day.